Live stream. Back to another live stream. Back
100 times?
to another live stream.
200 times?
Back.
500 times?
Probably.
Who is Jose Arteaga?
Jose Arteaga is a YouTube content creator with several channels focusing on different themes.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Thing sucks.
His main channels include travel vlogs and lifestyle content. On his travel channel, Jose Arteaga Travels.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
Additionally, he runs a cooking channel and engages in other personal projects that highlight his diverse interests and expertise. Projects and expertise. Projects and expertise. Projects, project, projects, project, projects, project, projects, project, projects, project, projects, project, 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 expertise,
Or something like that just like fell off her bike, while taking a ride down in California and then caused an earthquake. You know what I mean? So anyways, long story short, the reason I'm starting this, the live stream with that is for multiple reasons. Number one, comedic value. Hopefully you guys got a good laugh and enjoyed the intro there. I know it was a little bit long, but also because, I was a fat kid when I was growing up. And for anyone out there that was also a fat kid, it's not easy. It comes with its mostly negatives, but it's, the life that I lived for a very long time. I was a fat little kid, chubby kid, I guess is what they like to say. And because of that, obviously I got bullied. And because of the bullying, I had two choices. I was either going to continue to get bullied, you know what I mean? And just be the, kind of like Ralph in The Simpsons, or what's the other fat kid, the German fat kid or something like that. Either be that or be more like Nelson or Bart, or something like that. So I was more like Nelson. So I wasn't a bully per se, but I definitely wasn't getting bullied. So and obviously I was a bigger kid. Not only was I fat, but I was big, tall, big, whatever. So, and I had growth spurts earlier. So long story short, I was fat, but I was also bigger than most kids. And I'm very young, you get bullied, and it's up to you. Just like when you go to prison, right? It's up to you to basically let everybody know who they're fucking dealing with. And so with me, a lot of times I would have to, prove that I wasn't someone that they could bully, even though, again, you can only imagine what I looked like as a kid. I was a fat, nerdy kid, big glasses. I had the nerd look, but I was still me. And so, a lot of people would always kind of get confused thinking, oh, I can pick on him, until they quickly realize, hey, listen, I'm the bully here. You know what I mean? Like, now I'm going to be, dictating and seeing what's up here. But I wasn't a bully. I was just that, I was just a bigger kid, a nice kid, the same guy I am today in a sense, just a nice young, kid, whatever. But yeah, things like that would happen. And one would had to, use that or, something else. That's where I started really developing the gift of gab. Why I talk so much, why I try to make people laugh, why I try to entertain, why I try to do all that. Because, again, I had two choices every time, as I was growing up, when I would get bullied. It was either fight, defend myself, or trying to just make fun of the situation, comedy. So they would call me fat. Well, again, fat jokes are the easiest, all right? You're weird. Anyone that does any jokes out there, you already know fat jokes are the easiest. So they always had easy jokes, that they could throw at me because I was a fat kid, the fat guy. But then it was my challenge, to come up with jokes and to come up with funnier things that would deflect, the laughter off of me Okay, and now on them. And again, instead of laughing at me, they're laughing with me and probably laughing at the bully, the one that called me the fat joke. And so very quickly as the years went on, people started to realize, even though I bounced around from schools and areas, a lot, people found out very quickly, don't fuck with Jose because he's either going to kick your ass or make fun of you or do both at the same time, which I would do as well, from time to time. But very rarely did I have to fight because most people didn't want none of this, just because I was bigger. But immediately when they would notice that I was aggressive and that I was, again, I would troll, I was the bully, I was a verbal bully, forget about it, Like nobody wanted to fuck with me after that. And it was kind of like the same old thing. And so, yeah, literally bounce, off my blubber. But the point is that, as, the years went on, I grew up a little fat kid, and I grew up a fat kid throughout my whole life. But because of that, I grew some thick skin. Obviously the fat helped the thickness, okay? But that's not what I meant. Like a thick skin, meaning that not only could I, take a joke and take punishment, from people saying things or whatever, but I could dish it out as well. And so, obviously that prepared me to deal with the real world. But, as I was, again, getting educated, going through high school, and eventually had to go to college, all that shit, that I wasn't fitting into that world, even though I was very intelligent. I didn't fit into that world because I come from the blue collar streets world of, you make fun of me, I'm going to make fun of you, blah, 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 and all that stuff. And so my family back then was always, half my family was into video photography, like The Wedding Singer, all that stuff. So I lived that life. And then my other half of the family, they were into restaurants. My dad, we owned a restaurant when we were a kid. I lived through that. So I was around restaurants and all that. So when I was growing, when I had that choice of kind of what to make, doctor, lawyer, this or that, I went down the route of cook, chef. Why? Well, because it was that environment. That environment that I was always in, just how I grew up, and so on and so forth. And so, but at the end of the day, I was always a fat kid. I was always a big kid. As I was growing up, as I was going through, high school, whatever, I just got bigger and bigger and bigger. I even played football briefly for a short time, just a few, outings out there until I quickly realized, yeah, I'm not playing for a losing team. Not that I was bad. It was just that, I was in Miami, back in the 90s, back when the University of Miami was at all its glory. And basically all the schools in the area, they were all, highly talented future NFL players. And then my school was just a bunch of Cubans. And when was the last time you ever saw a Cuban playing NFL football? Never. So we will get creamed every time. So it was like after the third game of getting, pounded, by Ray Lewis and stuff, I was like, all right, maybe this is not my thing. And Cubans play baseball. So our baseball team won the championship all the time. But the thing is like I did not have the coordination to hit a baseball. So that's why I didn't play baseball. But long story short, what I was getting at is that I was a big kid. But I was an active kid, and I did things, sports and all kinds of things. And, I was always a big kid. And I didn't know that. I didn't know why I was a fat kid until years later I realized it was because of my diet. Unfortunately, my mom wasn't the greatest cook in the world. She was a typical American mom, even though she was Cuban, but grew up in the, we're in the U.S., right? So what does that mean? Typical American mom, typical American meals. So a lot of times my meals were the simple things, that most people have, like cereal in the morning or chicken nuggets at night or a variation of everything in between all that. And so therefore I did not, that did not help with the weight. A lot of carbs. Remember, we were told always that carbs are good, meat and fat are bad. Now, thank God grandma was always around, and grandma fed me the proper diet. So I always ate a lot of high fat, high protein, very healthy meals over there. But again, it wasn't all the time. So it was like 50-50, 50% very healthy food, 50% horrible food. So that was part of it. And there were also things, that kind of caused me to always be fat. and that I did not know of. Okay, a lot of it had to do with diet and stress and so many other things. But long story short, as I grew older, I grew fatter, and I was in an industry, where I was working 12 hours a day, and I was only eating one meal a day. In fact, sometimes I wouldn't even eat at all, but yet I was always fat. All right. And sometimes I would spend like 3-4 days without eating and just doing cocaine and drugs and other things. Again, check out my other videos for that. So those stories. But I mean, long story short, it's like, why am I still fat? You know what I mean? Like, are you kidding me? Like when, you see Chris Farley, doing an 8-ball and he's still fat. Okay. Like, why is he fat? Okay. So same thing. I don't know what. And so I just resigned, kind of resigned. What is it like? Gave up to the fact that I'm just a fat kid. I'm just always going to be fat no matter what I do. And no matter my diet, my whatever. But the reality is that, like, I had no idea that stress was such a big part of it. And so eventually, as the years went on, I started to figure out what was really going on. And I really decided to start taking care of my health. And so I really stopped eating. I really started to work out. This was already maybe, I don't know when, you know what I mean? Like, in fact, I'm going to show you some pictures and we'll go through that. Might as well. So you guys can see a little bit more as to what I look like, since you guys are curious. All right. 1 second here. So shout out to everyone. Shout out to Pete Stocks out there. Louis Sharp was the last Cuban NFL player I'm aware of. Oh, okay. I don't even know who that is. Yeah, I'm big boned for. Oh, by the way, fun fact. I actually did take a test a long time ago. I took a test a long time ago to measure my bone density. I don't remember where. Oh, sorry, 1 second. But anyways, yeah, my bone density. What's going on? Oh yeah. Hello. Hold on a second. Where's this? Hold on. Why is this not working? 1 second. My apologies. Yeah. Does this thing freeze? There we go. Okay. Okay. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, I do have thick bones. I got big bones. I'm a big boned dude. So, I do have big bones. So, that doesn't help either with the weight. So, yes, I'm also big boned. All right. So, this is me in 2010 visiting Seattle. Look at that. Look how huge I was there. I was probably like 270 pounds, give or take. Look at that. So that's in 2010. And then this is 2012. Look at that. Still big. Still huge. All right. And then here's me in 2013. So in between here, okay, so that's in Seattle. That's when I moved to Seattle. But in between here and here, around here, I started to already saying, okay, I got to work out more, eat less, work out more. But still, even though I was doing that, I did that for a year, and then boom, this is the result. Okay? I was still, you can see I'm a little bulkier. I might look a little scarier there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to really kick your fucking ass. You know what I mean? Imagine me as a chef, bro. You think I was fucking around, bro? Anyways. And especially since I did everything. You know what I mean? I wasn't one of those guys that was just an asshole to be an asshole. No, listen. I knew how to do everything. I didn't need you. All right? Many times I would even work with a skeleton crew because that money I saved, I put that shit in my pocket. You know what I mean? I didn't go fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I produce better than with employees half the time. Fucking needy baby. Anyway, so yeah. I used to run kitchens and make people a lot of money because, again, a lot of times, owners, they don't want to be paying extra salaries either. So the fact that I can do it all, was also very good. But long story short, at that point, I started getting a little bit, again, you can see I'm just getting big. I'm getting bigger, just not, I'm losing weight, but I'm gaining muscle-ish. You know what I mean? So it's like, but yeah, it took a while. It'll take a minute. So anyway, so that was me there. All right. And then this is in 2014. Look at that. You see? A lot less. In fact, that's kind of like almost what I look like now. You see how much weight I lost in like 1 year? And what caused the big dramatic shift from there to there to there? The reality of it. You want to know what it was? And that's when I really realized stress. Because by me leaving Miami, I had no idea how stressful my life in Miami was. Not just Miami, but just my life in Miami. And, you know, my life, the life that I lived out there. And the stress, you know, was one of the reasons, one of the main reasons. So, you know, at this point, you know, again, I've been one of those people, like a lot of people out there in the audience, that have struggled with their weight. So, you know, it's not like I, per se, kept it off. I mean, I did and I didn't. So let's see, throughout the years, I think I got a little, did I get chunkier? No, I think, yeah, from this point on, I just started losing weight. And this is 2015. Look at that. Looking better. 2016, I think I got a little fat there again. You know, 2017, lost weight. That was when I was living on the boat. Again, you can check out that story time on my on Unleashed. This was 2013. So I was already losing weight. But yeah. Look at that. Look how this is probably like the skinniest there. You're close to my skinniest there. Look at that. Or when I moved to Mexico. But yeah, look at this. This is 2011. Oh, wait, hold on. Look at me in 2011 so you can see the difference. Okay, that was at, you know, when Obama was in office there. So, oh, I don't have an exercise bike. I don't know, whatever you saw in the background is not mine. Whatever that was. I never had an exercise bike. No, yeah, I've never been one of those guys that goes to the gym. I've been to the gym and I worked out in the gym, but I've been more of those guys that just like go out and do it. And you guys, I mean, you guys can see my videos. But anyways, yeah. So I think this is my fattest there, close to it. All right, which was there, you know, 2011. And again, it was around 2012, 2013 where I started getting serious about it. And you know, again, at first, as I showed you guys here, you know, it was a little difficult because I went from this. Well, first, hold on. I went from this to this to this. Okay, and here, you know, from here to here, I'm already starting to work out and eat better. But it really wasn't until, like I said, after being in Seattle for about a year, with less stress. Look at that. Okay, and then boom, you know, I just got a little fatter or whatever. But at the end of the day, kind of always kept it in check. But yeah, let's get into it, like how I did this. You know, what happened. You know, look, long story short, it's really not that big of a secret. I started working out on a regular basis, and I stopped eating junk food. Even though a lot of times when, you know, you see me maybe a little chunkier there, I went back to eating frozen pizzas and fucking ding dongs and Coca-Cola. So basically what really helped me is I stopped drinking Coca-Cola. I started working out. I'm not saying insane workouts. I'm just saying, like, you know, walking every day, maybe a little jog if you want to, get on the bike, just do some push-ups, you know, like literally regular workouts, nothing crazy, okay? You just got to move and do stuff, okay? But again, you know, I turned the fat more into some muscle, but then it really wasn't that. I didn't start losing that fat. A lot of that fat was there because of stress. I don't know the exact reason or the science reason or what the fuck happened, but I just know it was stress. And I've been able to keep it off, even though I've been fluctuating, even though right now, look, I'll show you guys what I'm at right now, which I'm very fat again. Look at this. Oh, wait a minute. Look. Okay, I'm very fat again, but still. You know, that's probably my skinniest or one of my skinniest. I think my real skinniest was when I moved to Mexico. Okay? But I'm still, you know, in shape. You know, I'll let you guys know. Whatever. Let's go. Don't worry about it. You guys have seen me in worse. Okay? So you see? Still not the worst, okay? All right, but I got to work out more. I got to do more. All right, I got to get physical. We got to get physical. All right, but the way I've been able to maintain it off has been always being physical, doing something, anything, even if it's just walking my dog once a day, okay? Minimum. Obviously, the more you do, the better. But minimum, do something like that. And stop eating carbs. Stop eating carbs. Stop eating carbs. Stop eating carbs. Stop eating mother effing fucking carbs. That's basically it. Now, obviously, you cannot stop eating all carbs. Okay? And I'm not saying to do that. You can. Okay? But what I mean is, like, stop eating your fucking Little Caesars pizza. Stop eating that Twinkie and the Ho-Ho. Stop drinking your Coca-Cola. All that shit, okay? Cut out the Coca-Cola. Cut out the processed foods. Like, bad processed foods. I'm not talking about, like, salami. No, that's great. I'm talking about fucking, an Oscar Mayer wiener, all right? Or, and that's not even that bad. I'm really more talking about, like I said, like a Twinkie or a Ho-Ho or a cereal or, things like that. Cut that shit out. Eat protein. Eat clean fucking protein. What is clean protein? What is clean protein? Eat a lot of eggs. Eat chicken breast. Eat beef. Eat all that shit, okay? And again, you don't have to go full carnivore. You can. You don't have to. Again, meat, a lot of protein, a lot of vegetables. Eat some vegetables. Make them delicious. Learn how to fucking cook, all right? That's it. You know what I mean? And then just, certain carbs, that are great. Beans, rice, don't eat them every day. Don't eat potatoes every day. Things like that. But those are okay carbs. Those are good carbs. Don't eat bread. And if you're going to eat bread, make sure it's, good bread made with good flour and not, again, all these chemicals. Don't be eating Wonder Bread. So, and I can go on with all these tips, but that's what worked for me. I eat a lot. I still eat a lot. Okay, but I notice it's basically sugar, carbs. I cut that out. I got no problem with weight, and I gotta constantly keep doing stuff and stay physical and working out, and that's it. And I maintain that, and I do that, and it's easy. And the thing is, that's another thing too. So I was a fat kid. I grew up as a fat kid. You guys been listening through the whole live stream so far, and I've been telling you about that. And so throughout my whole life, I've struggled with weight, up and down, up and down. And again, it got to a point where I started to drop it, and I was able to maintain it, maybe a little bump up, but it kept going down. Okay? And then, like I said, I was at an all-time low in weight when I moved to Mexico and living in Mexico the first year. But then after that first year, it just started going the other way. Simply because all the good food, I could finally afford to eat more. Yeah, a lot of people always ask me towards the end, the last few years before I moved out here, say, hey, Jose, well, what's your secret? How come you lost so much weight? Or how were you able to really keep that weight off? Or you lose so much weight, at the end? It's like, yeah, it's called starving. It's called being broke. That's the best diet ever. So, but anyways, long story short, being broke means less calories, less food that I could afford to eat. Therefore, that helps to lose weight. So that with exercise, I don't know what else to say. That's really the truth. But what I was going to say is that I remember, growing up, teenager, throughout my life, I would try diets, gimmicky diets, all kinds of shit. And many times, I would lose some weight and then I would lose some weight and then I would gain it again, lose some weight, gain more, yada, 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 until I just gave up altogether. But it wasn't until I really, 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 like I said, 2012, 13, around there. It wasn't really until I decided to take it seriously that I got to take care of my health. I got to get, better. And at that point, the reason I did this, I know it sounds crazy, but here, let me show you. So here in this picture, I felt unhealthier than I do right now. In this picture, 2011, I was 30 years old. That's me at 30 years old. How crazy is that, right? That's me at 30 fucking years old. And I look older. I'm 40 fucking 3 right now. I'm 40 fucking 3 and look at this. Okay? I'm 43 and I look better than I do there. I feel better. But what happened was, like I said, around 2012, 2013, when I really started to take it seriously, my weight, my whole thing, and I did it the right way. Because again, I used to, I'm active and athletic. I was still a chef. I was still cooking then. Look, you can see my knife bag. That's my knife. Those are my knives right there for work. See the bag right there next to my head? On top of the fridge? Okay, that's my knife bag, all right? But anyways, long story short, you know, look, that's my, those are my hats for work, okay? My bag to go change, whatever. I was still chefing it up there, all right? But what happened was, like I said, from that point on, okay, so again, 2013, let's just say 2012, 13, okay? From 13 on, so how many years is that? You know, 11 years, all right? 10, 11 years, 11, 12 years. I started doing it the right way, meaning working out every day. So not only, you know, did I have a physical job, but I would work out. Again, walking a lot. It doesn't have to be like going to the, you know. Anyways, just be more physical and eating less and eating better. And the stress. I don't want to, I can't stress that enough. That the stress, you know, was also a big factor. So it wasn't just eating right. It was also the stress, okay? So eating right and more physical labor, you know, more physical activity, all right? And so doing it the right way. There was no special gimmicky diet. Like I said, less calories in, more physical activity, less stress, and I've been able to maintain my weight, you know, and maintain it, and even lost more weight, okay? And lost even more freaking weight. See, look, where is that? Look at this. See, I got fat there again. That's in 2016, okay? And then from 2016 to 2017, that's when I started losing everything again. You know, where I lost everything. And see how skinny I got, and then I got even skinnier than that. Okay? And then 2018, 19, you guys already seen those, okay? Because those are my videos. All right. You know, I started really being on YouTube after 2018 going forward. But yeah, you know what I mean? So that's the thing, guys. You know what I mean? Like the reality is that why have I been able to maintain it off? Because of that. Now, after I moved to Mexico, you know, even I kept the physical activity at an all-time high, but then I started eating poorly again because of all the good food out here. So eating a lot of carbs again. Because there's actually pretty good carbs, but still, too many good carbs are still bad. You know what I'm saying? Like just look, the bread out here, the sweets out here, and the Coke out here is made with real sugar. It's made with, you know, real flour, you know, none of this, you know, GMO, all that shit crap, you know, all those chemicals. And so that's been able to maintain my weight down, even though, you know, if I was in the USA, I'd probably be back in my regular weight. But the reality is that what's been able to help me keep it off has been the fact that I've always been physical, and I've even though I started to eat bad here again, I was you know, I was even more physical than I'd ever been before. So I was able to counterbalance. But then recently, I've stopped being physical. Well, you know, stopped being as physical. You know, walking, biking. You know, doing so. I stopped being as physical as I used to be, and I kept eating. So I started getting fat. So I stopped eating sugar more than anything else. And so now it's like this, and now I got to start exercising again, and it's that balance. But it's like you got to keep working at it. But why don't I have these huge spikes in weight gain like I used to, or like a lot of people do? Well, because I did it the right way. There was no gimmicky, no Ozempic, you know, no fad diet, none of that shit. Again, work out, eat less. Eat better food, eat less bad food. I'm not saying don't eat a fucking McDonald's Happy Meal, you know, but don't do it every day, okay? Do it once every 6 months. Things like that. But anyways, but I see Pete Stocks in there, you know, with like 100 comments. Let me read a few of your comments, Pete Stocks. You know, my apologies, bro, and I wasn't trying to ignore you or anything like that. I was just, you know, on my rants here. It is Jose Unleashed after all. All right, let's go with Pete Stock. Pete's Unleashed. All right. Pete says, yeah, do push-ups. So yeah, like so. For example, you know, back when I was this weight, you know, I could barely do a push-up. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I could barely do a push-up. But the other day, you know, I was hanging out with Tree, you know, shout out to Tree. He's my friend, you know, he's on the other channel, whatever. Anyways, you know, I was hanging out with him. We were getting drunk, you know, at a party, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, he's an ex-military dude. So he's like, hey, man, all right, let's do some push-ups. Anyways, Obviously, he kicked my ass in push-ups, but hey, I was able to do 10 push-ups, no problem. You know what I mean? Drunk, out of shape, haven't really been doing much. So that's the thing, you know what I mean? If you do it the right way, you're able to maintain it, even if you fall off the wagon. Okay, so that's the thing, I'm just trying to I got to get back on the wagon. Obviously, the older you get, the more difficult it gets. But it's a constant thing. It's a constant thing. It's just working out. But the thing is like I said, I look at this picture from 12 years ago, all right? And I know for a fact that I felt older there. I know for a fact that I felt like shit there all day, every day. I hated everything. Everything about life was just miserable because of how I felt physically and how everything about me. Like again, 12 years later, I am younger. I feel younger. I feel healthier. Things don't hurt. It's just, everything's just better life. So it's like I can never ever let myself go like that ever again, and I can never get back to that ever again. And so right now, very recently, I had a wake up call because, like I said, I've been eating a lot of junk food this year, not working out as much, whatever. And all of a sudden I got a little fat. And I noticed because of my clothes, it wasn't fitting me. And I weighed myself and it was 220. And I was like, oh no, that was already way too much. So then that's it. I just started to work to bring that back to now we're at 215 again, but we got to keep going. We got to keep going and we got to keep going. And this time, let's see how far we can get. And let's see if I can turn this keg into a 6-pack. Maybe not, but hey, let's try. Let's go harder. Let's really, ramp up the motor and, stay healthy because I know I can feel better. And I want to feel better, and I'm only getting older, so it's one of those things now where it's you have to do it. There's like no other if, ands, or buts. If you want to really enjoy life, you got to make sure that your vehicle, okay, that is gonna take you around this amazing world, is at its best. Okay, that you have the best vehicle possible for this. So. Barry says, some stress is necessary for productivity. Don't overdo it. 100%. No, listen. My wife thinks, my stress is, I'm off the charts. She's always like, man, you're always stressed. I'm like, man, are you kidding me? But when I talk to, like, let's say my mom, or I talk to my friends back in the USA that know me from back in the day, man, they always said, man, you sound so calm and so relaxed and so happy and so chill. But again, my wife is like, bro, you're like the Energizer Bunny. You don't stop. So it's just things like that. No, I agree with you, Barry. You gotta have some stress. In fact, in order for you to really be able to lose weight, maintain the weight, and off and all that stuff, you have to be, you have to stress yourself, stress your body, But that's a different thing. One thing is, when you got more control over that stress, you're physically exerting yourself, that kind of stress, that's great. That's wonderful. That's, again, test your limits, all that. But when the stress I was referring to is the unnecessary stress that a lot of people have these days living, in the modern world with all the modern bullshit. You know what I mean? Whether it's traffic, whether it's fucking Johnny at work, whether it's fucking, Karen, fucking complaining to HR about, what you said about blah, 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 whether it's, whatever the fuck, you live there. I don't know. I live in Mexico. I don't fucking know. It gives me PTSD right now just thinking about it. But anyways, look, the point I'm making is that that's a very important factor, like the environment you're in. The environment you're in, it really does have a lot to do with it. And look, and I'm sure every human is different. Everybody, reacts to stress differently. But at least in my case, the stress was physically making me ill and making me fat. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else, because like I said, by moving to Seattle, I didn't really change much except a few things. But the big change that was very constant was the stress levels. Being able to keep that in check. Miami is just a different animal. Miami is like, again, it's like New York. It's like, it's New York, but in the South. Just, so it's very different. And, I loved living on the West Coast. I love that I was raised on the East Coast of the USA, like that kind of energy and vibe and all that shit. But no. You kidding me? I'm a West Coaster all day. You know, in spirit, I'm a West Coaster. You know, like. You know, just chill, man. When I got to the West Coast and I saw everybody chilling, it was like, man, what the fuck are we doing over there on the East Coast? Look, I get it. You know what I mean? The East Coast is what runs the country, what runs the whole thing. But, oh, no, man. That's what I mean. That's stress. You know what I mean? And so, like, I think depending on, I don't know where you are, Barry, you know, but I think it depends on where you are. You know, I think, you know, we all have a different understanding of what I mean by stress. But, yeah, no, I'm just talking about the unnecessary, crazy stress of what life is for many people these days. Or back then or forever, you know, and like, especially if you're like on the East Coast and things like that. So for me, I mean, that's kind of like what I was talking about. But yeah, so like by me being able to, you know, when I moved to the West Coast, that stress was gone. When I moved to Mexico, it was really gone, you know, and that really, you know, helped. Yeah, so I don't know what kind of stress there is in Texas, honestly. I mean, how about this? You know, Texas was basically how I ended up here in Mexico. That's another story for another day. In fact, I got to tell that story in detail on this channel. But yeah, Texas is stressful for me. I'll leave it there. You know, Texas causes me much stress. You know, maybe just as much, maybe more stress than Florida. All right? And that was the most stressful for me. But whatever. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about weight loss. And look, at the end of the day, there's not really any secret. You know, there's no real fucking secret, man. You know, for everyone out there in the audience that is looking for a secret pill, it takes, again, a lot of hard work and basically changing your habits. You know, being more physical and having a better diet. It's really that simple. It really that simple. And but it takes many years. Again, this is me. Okay, all the way back in. Where am I here? Hold on a second. I got so many tabs open. I don't know what year this is here. 2011? I deleted it. Anyways, where was it? But anyways, 2010. Look at this. This is me in 2010 here. Okay? And eventually I got from that to this. Okay? In a few years, but maintaining it off. Okay? So from 2010... okay, all the way till I got here, it was like 4 years, okay? And then from here, you know, that's 10 years. 10 years of my weight going up and down, but still being able to maintain it. This is 2017, okay? So, all right. So, yeah, guys. You know, it takes a lot of work, and you got to maintain and keep going and keep going. And again, very easily, I could balloon up, you know, by not doing any physical labor or physical activity and eating more Twinkies. And you know, what was my wake up call a few months ago to, you know, stop losing weight? Like I said, you know, I saw myself on the scale. I was starting, you know, getting a little chunky. My clothes started not fit again. And I know, you know, for any fat person out there, for anyone out there with any problems, again, we talk about problems here all the time. You know, I've had many addictions, many things, many situations. But look, long story short, we know when you hit rock bottom. You know when you're having one too many Twinkies or one too many, you know, drugs or one too many beers or one too many whatever the fuck it is you do. And you realize, you know, hey, am I going to be a piece of shit for the rest of my life, or am I going to get my shit together? That's it. And so for me, you know, I stopped being, I didn't want to be a fat, sloppy bitch for the rest of my life. You know, I'm a little fat guy, you know, I'm a little whatever, but I got that shit under control. And, but that's the thing. It's like, it's you. And that's it. It's all up to you, whether you want it bad enough, and then you got to put in that work. And it's really, there's no magic pill. It's as simple as, again, I've mentioned it multiple times. You know, I really didn't lose weight, and I really wasn't able to get healthy until I took that upon myself. That's what I have to do. Okay. And simply, again, it's all about calories. Okay. And it's all about carbs and shit like that. Again, put in the physical work. Okay. Do some workouts, whatever it is, even if it's walking, running, biking, push-ups. You don't have to get crazy. Simple things like that. You know, lunges, you know, whatever. Okay. You know, do all that, and then on top of that, just eat less. And if you want to eat more, let's say you're a fat fuck like me, no matter what, you're going to eat a lot no matter what. Great. No problem. Make sure that what you're eating is healthy. All right. And I'm not saying, oh, eat broccoli every day. No. I eat broccoli once a month, maybe once every 6 months. I don't know. No. But you know what I eat a lot of that I love and it's really healthy for me? Steak, chicken. If I can only afford it, ground beef, whatever. But protein, a lot of protein. And that will get you very healthy. And then again, you know, there are carbs you can eat. You can eat a potato. Okay? You can eat beans. In fact, these are really good for you. You should. All right? They also have protein. They also got vitamins and minerals and all these things, okay? Eat vegetables. Learn how to cook them. There's no excuses these days. Go on fucking YouTube, you know, how to cook some vegetables. Come on now. Give me a break. All right? And I used to teach cooking for a living, all right? I used to be a chef, right? So that's why I was like, no excuses. I know there's people that don't know how to cook, but listen, man, I've trained monkeys, all right? I've literally, all right? You know, dogs, you know, I've trained things that don't even speak a language, all right? They barely can keep the dick in their hand, you know. They're pretty good cooks, all right? So all I'm saying is that it's not that difficult. Make it happen. And especially if you're going to be on a diet like this. I mean, are you kidding me? You know what I mean? Like, come on, cook a steak. Cook some vegetables. You know, whatever. You know, but just kind of keep it very simple. And stop eating fucking Twinkies. Control yourself. Okay? And before you know it, you're not going to miss the Twinkies. Before you know it, you know, your body's going to get acclimated. You know, stop drinking the Coca-Cola. Stop eating sugar. And before you know it, you'll be, man, you're going to see. You're not going to want to drink a Coca-Cola. Because within a few weeks, you know, at one point, you're going to break. You know, maybe a month, okay? You're going to be like, fuck, I want a Coca-Cola. Or I'm going to eat a pizza. And you do that. And then the next day, the hangover is going to be so bad. I mean, you're going to have a hangover that's just as bad as if you were drinking all night. And you're going to be like, oh, fuck, are you kidding me? I don't want to do this. I don't want to feel like this. This is what I was doing to myself every day. And it's a quick, and you stop. And you really stop. Again, it doesn't mean you can't have it. Just like, again, it doesn't mean you can get fucking blackout drunk every once in a while. You know, once a year. You know, maybe at the Christmas party. Whatever. Okay? But yeah, you're not doing that every day. You're not going to do that every day. All right? And then when you realize that that's what you've been doing every day with your diet, you know, what you've been doing every day with the way you've been living your life, it's like, oh, yeah, that's the quickest wake-up call you can have. But again, it takes work and effort. And you can maintain it off. And the reason, you know, why you got to do it this way is so that you can be healthier. Again, going back to my old picture here. You know, are you kidding me? Yeah, sure, I can work in a kitchen and I was, you know, I guess, quote unquote, healthy because I worked a very physical job. But was I healthy? No, I wasn't. Okay, I was very unhealthy. Are you kidding me? I was huffing and puffing. All right? And again, why have I been able to maintain strength, you know, and maintain a bunch of things as I lost weight? Well, because I was always carrying around an extra 100 pounds on top of me that I didn't need to be carrying. So, you know, the thing is that if you do it right, you'll be set up right. You'll set up yourself right, okay? And you'll really be able to enjoy life and things will be good. And you're going to see that food is fuel. Food is fuel. All right? So, and, you know, this is your body. This is your rocket here. So make sure you put the right rocket fuel there. All right? Phil says, wait till you hit your 60s. Yeah, I know. We still got 20 years before that. You just need less calories, but your appetite stays the same. Oh, I bet. Barry says, stress is a coping mechanism when dealing with a difficult situation. Correct. It is worrying and loss of sleep, increase of weight. Yeah. So, you know, for, you know, again, you know, that's, you know, when you're living that very stressful life, you know, like in Miami. You know, Miami, you got high cost of living. One of the highest cost of living and one of the lowest wages in the whole country. So it was very difficult. And so, and you know, just living and surviving in that. And then just simply moving to Seattle, you know, all of a sudden it was like some of the highest wages in the country and the cost of living was the same. All of a sudden, you know, I didn't have a money problem anymore. So that automatically was a lot less stress. You know, besides the fact that, you know, again, I was on the West Coast. Very different than being on the East Coast, you know. On top of that, number two, you know, weed was legal here, so, you know, everybody's high. Also, Seattle, West Coast, everybody was drugs, as opposed to Miami, you know, where everybody was, you know, the drugs of choice in Miami were steroids, cocaine, and uppers. And the drugs of choice in Seattle were downers, you know, everybody was chill. So, again, so many factors that, you know, basically fell, into place. The stars aligned, and boom, I landed in a very, in an area that was, basically zero stress compared to where I came from, Miami, which is extreme stress all day, every day, no matter what. Again, for adrenaline junkies, Miami is great. I like adrenaline too. But again, it's like a drug. It's like too much of anything is bad, So that's another story for another day. Again, if you want to hear my adrenaline junkie stories, I implore you, to come check out the rest of my channel. For any new viewers out there, I don't know how many viewers out there are new. Shout out to all you guys. Thank you for subscribing and hanging out. Anyways, click on the live button there, and you get to see all the previous live streams that I've done. And story times. Look, how I quit smoking, all the drugs that I take when I used to drive Uber. When I used to drive, when I worked at the zoo, when I worked at the strip club, when I lived in Seattle, when I got kicked out of Disney, my life as a chef, the time I sunk a boat, the time I lived in a boat in the desert, and I could go on and on. But anyways, so check out the story times over there. I don't know, especially now during the holidays. I'm sure you guys are looking for things to listen to. And again, I got a few, commentary videos. Look, I'm talking to artificial intelligence here with Joe Rogan. We're talking about who ruined society, the boomers and the doomers, why are so many stupid people? So I cover all kinds of shit. So long story short, check them out if you're interested in more content, more fun stuff. And again, we got the new year coming up. Oh, by the way, real quick, this channel is about to get monetized. Hopefully, maybe by next week, next live stream, we will be monetized. Now, I'm not going to be getting advertisement revenue yet, but you guys will be able to super chat if you want, and also I'm going to be able to link my store so you guys can purchase like a t-shirt or a mug if you want. Again, this t-shirt right here, my wife made. She's an artist. She has art for sale on her website. Again, go to my website, josearteaga.com, and go to Christian's artwork all the way at the top, and you can see what she has for sale. She has shirts like this for sale. They make great gifts and amazing gifts. Or you can go to my shop. Again, help support the show, and you can go to my shop and you can buy one of my t-shirts. And again, great gifts for Christmas and in case you want to help support the show. But yeah, it took one whole year. But after one whole year, we got monetized. And after I get over 1,000 subscribers, I will be able to get advertisements. Okay? So a revenue from that. Oh, don't forget to hit the like button. Yeah, you probably are the only one to hit the like button. Maybe nobody No, we got 8 likes. Okay, we got 8 likes so far. Shout out to all the 8 likes out there. But yeah, again, these are great ways to help support the show. And again, if you just want to straight up help support the show, help support everything I do here, you can just go to my website. You can, send some PayPal, Cash App, whatever. And for some of you guys that, because I don't know who's in the audience, some of you guys might only know me from this channel and this content, but a lot of you guys know me from my other channel. All right. My Living in Mexico channel. Okay. So you guys can check me out over there for more content in case you are wondering what it is to live what it is to live in Mexico. And again, I used to have a cooking channel. All right, you can see it down below. Where is it? No, my head's in the way. But anyways, I got a cooking channel, and I have my other channel there. That channel got banned. You see it all the way over there? That was my original channel. That's why I had to create all these other channels. I'm all over the place. I'm all over the internet. I'm like a fucking disease. I'm everywhere. Anyways, what was I saying? Where were we?
Bruh.
My weight loss story. So anyways, how about you guys in the audience? Have you guys struggled with your weight? Do you guys have a weight loss story as well? What's up with you guys? I mean, you don't have to share your whole thing, but just have you struggled with weight in the past? I think most people do, one shape, form, or another. Look, even my wife. My wife weighs like 100 pounds soaking wet. And even she struggles with her weight. Not too fat. Not that she's like, fat, whatever, per se. But just, people struggle with their weight, People that are small and tiny have weight or body problems, just like big people like me. You know, my friend Tree, he's 6'7". He also has problems. You know, we all got problems. You know, in fact, my friend Tree, you know, he used to be a bodybuilder. He used to do all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's not these are. So Pete says he posted his. Okay, Pete. Oh, there you go. Pete got to $3.99 and realized you were almost at 400 pounds. Oh, wow. Same thing. Quit soda, processed food, sugars, carbs. Yeah, that's it. Lost 130 pounds and kept it off for 5 years. Amazing. 7 months ago, I survived the Widowmaker heart attack. Holy shit. Wow. I have now lost a total of 170. Wow. Congratulations. From the heaviest and still working towards 200. Wow. Congrats. Wow. That's crazy. That's awesome, man. See? Makes me look like nothing. Makes me look like I still got way more work to do. Hold on, we gotta... Wow. But yeah, at the end of the day, like the math. Less intake with food, more output activity. That's it, you know? And just eating better food, man. Better fuel. I mean, you know, it's simple. And you get to keep it off. It also helps to know why you're overeating. Yes, correct. A lot of... mental, right? But see, in my case, I was never overeating, you know, so I grew up poor and subconsciously worrying food would run out all the time. Yeah, so I'm like, for me, that wasn't my issue. You know, my issue, all right, sorry, I didn't read all that, like, my apologies. No, sorry, I didn't read it earlier, but what I was going to say is that, like, see, my issue wasn't overeating per se. When I was a young kid, as a young fat kid, you know, yeah, it was overeating. Oh, we got the kids out there in Gizmo. It wasn't overeating, okay? I mean, it was overeating when I was younger. No, sorry about that. Anyways, all right. Anyways, but yeah, when I was younger, yeah, I was overeating and things like that. But as I got older, you know, my late teens, you know, once when I was really working in the kitchen and I had to work like, you know, 12 hours a day, I only had one meal a day. And so... that's, you know, when I realized, oh, wait a minute, you know, this is more stress. You know, well, after a while, you know, I already talked about this for an hour. But long story short, eventually I realized it was more stress related than anything else. And it wasn't food. It wasn't food per se. It was bad food. It was a lot of things. It was many things. It was making me fat, okay? Food was one thing, okay? But it was like, yeah, I was eating one meal a day, but it was just trash. It wasn't even food. You know, it was more chemicals and fucking carbs and bullshit than anything else. So that's the thing. You know what I mean? The reality is that, you know, when I was obviously it didn't help that I did not grow up healthy and I grew up a little fat kid. But then as, you know, I got older, I never really worked on my weight. And I thought that, well, if I worked a lot and, you know, my calorie intake was not as much, you know, whatever. But the reality is like, I thought I was not eating. You know, I thought I was eating better than I thought I was. And I also thought I was doing more physical activity than I thought I was. And, you know, it was one thing between physical activity at work and one thing is physical activity like, you know, you're working out. You're you know, attempting, you know, to really do more than just the same movements over and over again. So there's many things, many things, you know, around all this. But yeah, long story short, at least for me, it's not an eating problem. Look, I mean, even today, I mean, I love the fact. So it's funny that, you know, fasting became a thing because I've always fasted since I was a cook. So right now, again, I started cooking for real, like maybe 20. You know, I was doing it before, but really, you know, or a career, you know, 20. So, and then till now, so 23 years, okay? 23 years, I've been fasting. Okay? And, you know, what is it? Intermittent fasting? Whatever. Fasting meaning I only eat once a fucking day at night. And that's it. And so I've always kind of maintained that. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that I smoke weed. I smoke a lot of weed. And so that also kind of fucked with my insides too. That was also making me fat. It was a lot of things like that. So again, earlier this year, I gave up weed and I stopped smoking weed for 4 months. And my God, that also gave me a humongous change. Monster change, you know, and things. Even now, I got like bitch tits, you know. I got like these. You know, when I stop smoking weed, they're gone. You know, I can go on and on. So weed also has, which I never would have thought. And then, anyways, when I stopped smoking weed, I actually ate more. Now, all of a sudden, I was hungrier or more, you know, willing to eat multiple times a day. So when I stopped smoking weed, I was actually eating more than when I wasn't, until I got that under control. But I just got back to fasting really quickly. I just didn't give in to my desires to want to eat, because I guess, at the end of the day, I am a fat kid that does eat a lot. But it's kind of like a interesting thing. Yeah, no, but starting January, I'm gonna stop smoking weed again. Okay, I'm doing it again, and I'm gonna see how long I can go this time. But I mean, again, when I stopped smoking at the beginning of this year, I had been smoking for over 20 fucking years. Okay, so for me, it was just like it was a long overdue break, and this year has been very very revealing, very eye-opening and mind-opening and all this other stuff, and being off the weed, then getting on the weed again, and going, so many things, like, wow, man, seeing everything from a completely different perspective and seeing a completely different thing. And now this year, my God, like now, starting this year, right now, man, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. I'm going to be talking about that more next year. Okay, obviously we're going to be talking about giving up the weed. But yeah, long story short, it's struggle, man. Struggle, just like everything else. And it's like, do you want it bad enough? And it's very easy to fall into the Twinkie, the Taco Bell taco, the weed, the alcohol, the whatever. And it takes a lot of discipline and hard work to stay away from those things. And again, it doesn't mean you cannot, have these libations from time to time, but one cannot live undisciplined and live like a fucking piece of shit for the whole life. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I realized, when I stopped smoking weed. I was like, fuck. I was a piece of shit. I was like a fucking alcoholic. A functioning alcoholic. So, it is what it is. But again, it's all about truth. And I was talking about this earlier today on the other fucking show, talking about moving to Mexico. It's about truth. And being, being honest with yourself. And stop making excuses and stop fucking around. And do you want it bad enough? And are you going to do it or not? And yada, yada, yada. The same shit you always hear all the time. It's not the same thing. Last year, I was already at a point. Last year I was already at that point where it's like, again, 1 year from, the end of 2023, right? I was like, fuck, okay, I really want to give up weed. But it's like, fuck, it was like the scariest, most difficult thing. Like, again, just like starting that journey of stop being fat. And like I said, I went 4 months. Wow, amazing, we're great. But if I went back into smoking again, and now where I'm at today, again, I just know the cycle because of my own journey with weight loss and other things. And so now I'm at a point where it's like, okay, here we go. We're gonna do it again. And why is it so much more difficult? Because we're doing it the right way. You know what I mean? And what is the right way? Cold turkey. You just gotta fucking stop doing it, not wean off it or anything like that. And you gotta just want it, and you gotta suffer, you gotta sacrifice it. It's all these things. And so I'm gonna do it again, and I'm gonna see what the results are, and then so on and so forth. And again, no matter how skinny I get, I'm still gonna eat pizza from time to time. I'm still gonna have a Coca-Cola from time to time. I'm still gonna have my fucking Twinkie from time to time. From time to time. Not every fucking day. And it's the same thing with weed, alcohol, everything else. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean I'm not gonna smoke or drink or whatever. But you can't do that shit every day. And it's just so many things like that. And it's just like everything else, You can play video games, but is that what you're gonna do every day? And people are like, oh, why are you successful? And I'm not. Well, it's like, because the time that you're spending on video games or weed or alcohol, whatever the fuck it is you're doing, I'm spending on getting my fucking bag. I'm spending it on making it fucking happen. I'm doing it. And that's the difference. That's simple as that. You know what I mean? So anyone can do it. Okay, we see idiots do it all the time. People are like, oh, how come they do it and I don't? Well, because they just did it. They just fucking did it. Whatever it is, whether it's losing weight or whatever it is. And that's it. And so, you're either going to keep making excuses or you're going to make it happen. You're going to start losing that fucking weight. Or whatever it is. And especially now, are you kidding me? End of the year, December, we got January coming up. Stop making excuses. Look, I know I'm going to stop smoking weed again in January. And I know there's other things I got to get in check. Again, I got to get my weight back in check. I'm doing more physical activity. Okay, so anyway, I got to do more physical activity. I got to stop eating, junk, more junk. I got to stop eating. I got to do many things. Last year, I attempted to do all things at once, thinking I could because I'm, fucking badass. And I failed. I was able to, you know, when it came down to it, I said, all right, what am I going to stick to? You know, am I going to stick to the sugar, the weight, you know, the exercise, or the weed? And I said, no, the weed. I know I can lose weight. I know I can exercise. I know I can do all that shit. I can stop eating. I've done that before. So right now I'm going to focus on the weed. All right. And I was successful. So now this time around, I know that I'm going to have the same scenario. And so what have I done? You know, preparing for January, stop eating junk food. You know, again, stop eating sugar. You know, started working out again. You know, getting all that ready so that when January comes, I can hit the ground running and again have more of an advantage, have more things working in my favor in order for me to be able to get off the weed, and then really just get off the weed, but not struggle so much being off the weed. Okay. And so many things like that. So, but again, it's a whole thing. You know what I mean? It's like, again, part of the struggle with my weed was, well, because I was eating Twinkies and sugar and Coca-Cola and shit like that. So this time around, I cut out the bad stuff. It'll help me along, you know, even more, because it's gonna again make me stronger. You know, make my discipline, my will, my body, my everything stronger. You know, for me to be able to handle this, and so on and so forth. All right. So again, it's a struggle. I still struggle with my weight. You know, right now, you know, I'm back on, you know, I'm back at where I was. Sorry, I'm back at mentally where I was back in 2012, 2013, when I said I had to make a change. I was already at my fattest. I got to make a change. So now it's not that I'm at my fattest, but something else has happened. You know, it's things like age. I'm getting a little chunky. I'm getting, certain other things like that, like, you know, health issues and age, that are making me now give me another wake up call where it's like, all right, now we got to do this all over again. And let's, you know, not just drop it. There's not much weight to drop per se this time around. It's more about let's get physically in shape, okay? In better shape. Right now, I am in shape. Round. We're trying to not be round. Okay, we're trying to like be flat, I guess. I don't know, whatever, but not round. Okay, not hold on, where is it? Not like this, okay? Not round. Okay? Gotta get away from this and get more into this. No, this one. There you go. There you go. All right. So, all right. All right. I think I got a little fat there. See, every year struggle. Up, down, up, down. It's not easy, guys. I know it's not easy. But it's like, again, do you want it bad enough? And again, in this case, it's one of those things where it's like you feel it. You feel it physically. You feel it in your health. You feel it. So it's more like, all right, I don't want to feel like shit. I want to feel better. Start, you know, time to get back to work, all right? And stop making excuses, stop being a little bitch, all right? Start, you know, getting back to work. So with all that being said, guys, you already know the deal. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's story time, today's video, talking about weight loss, talking about fat, talking about my weight loss story journey. I'm glad that, you know, you guys shared your story a little bit too. Oh, Barry, shut up. Barry lost over 50 pounds this year. Oh, wow. Shout out to you. Wow. Shout out to you, Barry. Look at that. Hold on. Let's... All right. Congratulations. And let's see. Pete says, I didn't smoke for 9 years and my 10th party. Ozempic. Yeah, I know, bro. Yeah. Same thing. Something like that happened to me this year. Ozempic was... the 2024 weight loss plan. Yeah, 2025 will be tariffs. Yeah, right. Bruh. Yeah, the weight loss plan for 2025 is starve, motherfuckers. Anyway, but yeah, trust me, that helps too. Okay, that really helps. Okay, that really did help also, you know, throughout the years, you know, to keep my weight off. You know, once I started losing the weight is not eating. All right, but anyways, being so poor, you can't afford no food. Or you can't afford that many calories. But anyways, all right, guys. You already know the deal, guys. I'm going to be here again next week, okay? We still got a couple more shows before the end of the year. Hopefully, next week, we will be monetized. So, please, you know, watch more of my videos throughout this week. So, hopefully, we can get monetized by then. But if not, for sure, definitely monetized by the last episode of the year. Okay, but next week we're gonna be here. Remember, if you guys follow me from my other channel, you got to remember that, you know, on my other channel, next week I'm gonna have the lawyer on, so my live stream is gonna be like 6 o'clock at night. So therefore, my live stream here is not gonna follow anything. So I'm just gonna go live in the afternoon next Thursday. Stay tuned for the exact time, and I think we're gonna be talking about crypto, okay? Because seems like, all right, where was it? Hold on a second. Let me find it real quick. But it seems like we're back. So I don't know if you guys are into crypto or into that world or not or what have you, but man, wow. I mean, how about this? Here, I'll start it off with this, and we'll go from there. Oh. All right, but it seems like we back. We back. This is going to be next week, guys. Dancing is also great physical activity. So try to pump your bags, all right, so that you're rich, or at least have a few bucks in your pocket, so that way you can dance voluntarily. You know, you don't have to like be part of a war. You know, you just want to dance because, you know, why we want to dance? Why we want to dance?
Woke up, check the chart, how to back. Yeah, we climbed so far from where we started at. Tell me, where were you when Biddy hit 100 racks? We kept the faith, ran the race, now we run it back. Woke up, check the chart, had a heart attack. Yeah, we climbed so far from
Merry motherfucking Christmas, motherfuckers.
Tell me, where were you when Biddy hit 100 racks? We kept the faith, ran the race, now we run it back. 100 racks. 100 bands, 100 million sats. Hold it in my hands. Yeah, they used to laugh at us.
Orange Man brought Orange Coin back. Orange Man bad. Thank God for Orange Man.
A year ago, that very station told you it was doomed. I was telling everyone about it, never heard me though. Now I'm checking my folio, getting vertigo.
All right. This is the song. All right, this is how we're gonna end it, guys.
What do you do with the
All right.
Bitcoin besides it just gather value?
Real estate developers in New York City.
By the way, I am not anywhere near rich, all right? But
Most
listen,
of the people who are buying assets,
I don't know what else to
at
say,
some point want
all right?
to sell the assets out.
I'll see you guys next week.
People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. We call them poor. People.
Hope you guys are ready for the bull runs. Hope you guys are ready to make some money. Hope you guys are ready to not be poor next year. All right. Hope you guys are ready to get fat next year. All right. I know. I spent the whole hour telling you guys about how I lost weight, and we're gonna get fat next year, guys. All right. We're gonna get real fat. So you guys, again, I'll see you guys here next Thursday. All right. And I'm gonna show you exactly how we're gonna get fat next year. All right.
We call them poor.
We got the fattest cat in town in the chat right now. Shout out to Hanson.
Have the superior asset, it's going up forever more.
He also has a weight loss story.
Right, I mean, but I mean, we can all look Bitcoin sort of as
Forever more. People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor.
That's right.
We call them poor.
All right, guys. Love you guys. Peace out. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you guys here next Thursday. And I hope you guys fill those bags. And I hope we get to celebrate an even bigger pump next year. Next week, all right? Later, guys.
There's a name for them. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor.
Hey, guys, how's it going? to another live stream. Back to another live stream. Back
100 times?
to another live stream.
200 times?
Back.
500 times?
Probably. Who is Jose Arteaga?
Jose Arteaga is a YouTube content creator with several channels focusing on different themes.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Thing sucks.
His main channels include travel vlogs and lifestyle content. On his travel channel, Jose Arteaga Travels.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
Additionally, he runs a cooking channel and engages in other personal projects that highlight his diverse interests and expertise. Projects and expertise. Projects and expertise. Projects, project, 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 project.